Hey, it's John, and in this video we're going to talk about the different states that your ideal target market are in and work through the download worksheet called the before and after grid. Now when it comes to people making a purchasing decision, they typically don't buy products or services or features or even benefits. What people typically buy is transformation. They want to be transformed from where they are today to where they want to be or their desired outcome. A great sales message simply articulates the shift or transformation from where they are, called the before state, to where they want to be, called the after state. In this video, we're going to work through and get clear on the four main areas of the before and after grid, which are your ideal customer segments, the before state of your ideal target market, the after state of your ideal target market, and your products or services. So when we get into the module of structuring your message, which is next, you'll have the foundation in place to be able to develop compelling copy for your target audience. So let's dig in and get started with the customer segment of your ideal target audience. If you haven't done so already, go to the download sections accompanying this video and download the before and after grid worksheet and follow along. Now everything starts off in the middle top section of the worksheet called the customer segments. This is where you list out your customer segments or your customer avatars that you created earlier in this module. So for each segment, you'll have a different before and after grid. It's good to have them all listed out, but at least list out the one that you're going to primarily talk about here in this video. So we're going to start with the customer. Who are we talking to? We clearly identify that, which you should have done in a previous video or previous module. Now this is important to understand because depending upon your market, different customer segments are going to have different needs. Now very different before states and very different after states. So for example, let's say that you have a baby product business. You may have decided that you're going to target different segments. One such segment could be new moms, which you're going directly to the new moms. Those are the ones with newborns or very young children. Maybe another segment would be mommy bloggers. Maybe you want to create a specific before and after grid for mommy bloggers. When we're talking to them, they have a very different set of before and after circumstances than the actual mom that you're going to directly. And maybe you have a segment of baby retailers. Now they're going to have different needs again than the other two segments. Here's how you define a unique segment. If their desired after state is different, then it is a different segment. Let me say that again. If your segment has a different desired after state, that means that you're going to have a different segment. So fill out your different customer segments, but understand one thing. You're going to create a before and after grid for each different customer segment. Circle the one that you're going to focus on for this before and after grid. And remember, one before and after grid per customer segment. For our example, moving forward, we're going to focus on new moms as our customer segment. Now, the second thing we need to dig into is the before state of your customer segment. Where is their before state? What is their before state? There are 5 main categories that we're going to look into and dig into when it comes to the before state. The first one is have. What do they have before that they don't have after? Or what don't they have before that they have after? This is where we get into features and a little bit of the benefits. It's important to move beyond this stage and look at the other 4 categories as we're going through them. For our baby product example, their have includes what does the mom trying to bath her infant have? Well, she has a cold, hard tub with respect to bathing her infants. The second category is feel. So within the before state, the second category within before state is how do they feel? This means what is their emotional state? It's important to understand the emotional state of your target audience. What is the emotional state of my audience before? If you can empathize with somebody where they are, then they're going to listen to you and they're going to trust you more. Empathy is acknowledging and attaching to their feelings in this before state. So for our example here, what is the mom feeling with respect to bathing her infant? Well, she feels kind of scared and frustrated. If you've ever tried to bathe an infant, it's kind of terrifying. They're all soapy, you don't want to drop them. So for our example here, so the mom feels kind of terrified. So just follow along with us. That is our example of what the mom feels. Now the third category within the before state is, what does her average day look like? What does the average day look like in their before state versus their after state? Now when they wake up, what is their day like? What is a really bad day like? Now this is important for you when you're telling stories of transformation for your promotional material. Before, this is what my average day looked like. Now it looks like this. So in our example of an average day for the mom, the before state, bath time is terrible and it's frustrating. The baby doesn't like it. They're cold, they're wet, they're freaking out. You're freaking out. You get wet and soapy. So that is the before state of an average day. That's what the mom's average day looks like. Now the fourth category in the before state is status, which is very, very powerful. If your product or service gives someone more status by owning it or having used it, then make sure to mention that. How are you changing status? Now the example for status in our mom example is, they generally feel unappreciated, especially moms of little babies. They really feel unappreciated. They're walking around most of the day covered in vomit or spit up, and they're changing nasty diapers. Okay, so they typically feel unappreciated, and that's the status of the mom. They're really feeling unappreciated as they're going through the day. Now the fifth and final category for the before state is good versus evil. How can you position your product or service offering as an aspect of a struggle in this internal battle between good versus evil? Now, I don't know if you remember, but Apple did this very, very well back in 1984. They did an ad where they only ran it once, and they ran it during the Super Bowl. And in the ad, they never even showed a computer, but rather what they showed is Apple's fight against the Big Brother Orwellian style culture. They were coming across as if they were going to be the savior of the world in this battle between good and evil. This category it's really tough, and it requires some real poetry to pull this off in your marketing material. So for example, in our mom example of good versus evil, or the big broad thing that is going on right now, is they're being told that they can't have it all. This is big in the parenting world with moms specifically, that you can't have it all. You got to pick. Are you going to go to work? Are you going to raise your kids? Are you going to be frazzled and the crazy mom? So what is it that you're going to do? What's the good versus evil? The big broad thing that's going on right now. Okay, so those are the 5 categories of the before state. The third thing that we're going to look at in the before and after grid is the after state of your ideal target audience. What do they want their after state to be? Where do they want to end up? Now we're going to look at the same 5 main categories that we looked at in the before state and figure out where the target audience wants to end up, or what they want things to be like. So when it comes to have, what does your customer segment want to have with respect to some baby products? So the example of what they want to have is a warm, squishy tub. Before, they had a cold, hard tub, but what they really want is a warm, squishy tub. Now this is where most people stop. They want to talk about the features of the product, But in general, most audiences don't wake up and say, I wish I had a warm, squishy tub. So you need to move on to the other categories within the after state. And as you move down the category list, the impact on your market gets greater and greater. Now, in the second category of the after state is feel. The desired after state is to feel, for the mom, is to feel confident and in control. Before they were scared and frustrated, but now they have this nice small tub that's soft with a little bit of water. The baby is calm, so they feel calm, and now they're confident and in control. Whereas before they felt scared and frustrated. Now the third category in the after state is the average day. Now if you recall, bath time before was terrible, but now bath time is enjoyable. It's actually an enjoyable thing. Now this is important because if you've raised babies, you know that the baby stage is brief. It's a tiny moment in the life of your child. So we want to enjoy that. So now think about it. This soft, squishy tub is not just a tub. It's giving us more precious moments with our baby. It really is a big deal. Now the fourth category in the after state is your status. Now if you recall, your before status was unappreciated, and your after status is now that of a super mom. Why? Because when all other moms are complaining about bath time being so terrible, she can say, well, actually, I really love it. I think it's great, and I think it's because of this warm, squishy tub. Her status amongst her peer group can actually change because of this product. Now, typically they don't realize this on their own. There needs to be some messaging that puts forth the idea. So that's the fourth category in the after state. And the fifth and final category is, as mentioned, good versus evil. This is, now before, remember, mom can't have it all. That was the good versus evil, was that mom can't have it all. And now she can have it all. Now picture a mom at the beginning who is all frazzled, and then afterwards she has all of her stuff together. Now before, you have the baby squirming and she's washing the baby, but now they're both smiling and they're enjoying their bath time. She puts the baby to bed, and now she's kicking back and reading a book because she has all the time in the world and she's so relaxed. And it's all because of the warm, squishy tub. So the final part to look at in the before and after grid is your products and services. Now here you list all the products and services you offer that would be relevant for that customer segment and the before and after states described or discussed. So for the example of our baby products company, maybe there's a soft, squishy tub, or maybe it's pacifiers, or maybe there's other products. Whatever it is, you can begin to really speak to this market and not talk about your product. You can shine the spotlight on them and make them the hero and make their after really matter. And then show how something as stupid and as simple as a tub can actually dramatically change somebody's life. All they care about is what are you going to do for me? Now, when you fill in your products and services, write what you have and what you're thinking about. But also leave some space to think about what else could we roll out from a product development perspective that would really help get them from here to there. When you begin to think, not just what are your product ideas, but instead you say our audience is at the before and they want to be at the after. It really opens a lot more ideas for your products. So those are the 4 different sections of the before and after grid. You may have noticed that each video in this module is drilling down deeper and deeper into the understanding of who your audience is and understanding what they want and where they want to go. Now, if you haven't done so already, I'd like you to download and print out the before and after grid worksheet that accompanies this video. Once you've printed it out, work through the sheet and gain a deeper insight to the customer segments of your ideal target audience. Now, it's important that you finish the worksheet before moving on to the next module, as we'll be referencing the worksheets that you completed from this module when we start structuring your message. So go ahead, download the worksheet, complete it, and I'll see you in the next video.